There is a paradox that lives inside of everybody's brain. A paradox that is an aspect of instinct mismatch. The idea that our instincts were calibrated for a much different environment than the one in which we live. A paradox that makes it very difficult for people to move forward and do new things, which can make it hard for people, the uninitiated, to persuade other people. Most people persuade and sell using the hard sell, buy, push, very, very confrontational. But once you understand this paradox, once you understand why the hard sell doesn't work so well, you can leverage this paradox in your favor and make it extremely easy to not only persuade people, not only sell things to people, but to have friendly conversation socially. The first half of the paradox is that humans are terrified to do anything without any kind of social proof, safety in numbers, or approval of authority. Most people are terrified to go first. Most people are terrified to do unfamiliar things. Most people are hardwired by evolution to play it safe and only do what is comfortable, to only do what is safe, to only do what is familiar. So if you're trying to persuade somebody and they even suspect that this thing you're trying to persuade them to do is some kind of new and unfamiliar situation, they're going to be reluctant to take action. This is why the hard sell is so confrontational. So how do you overcome this? How do you get somebody to do something new and make it feel familiar? Well, that's where the second half of the paradox comes in. The other half of the paradox is we are all programmed with an ego that lives in our subconscious, that stays hidden from most people. Most people will never truly understand the ego. Most people will never truly be able to manage their ego. But the ego compels us to assert our ideas out into society, to assert our ideas as being more meaningful than others, to more persuasively assert our ideas out into the idea contest that is society at large. Now, in our ancient hunter-gatherer past, society at large was 100 people, maybe 50 people. So having an idea contest with 100 people or 50 people was a good thing because it produced the necessary solutions that we needed to stay safe, to survive, to get food. But today, when the idea contest is all kinds of other people that we don't know, this becomes incredibly complex and very confusing. So on the one hand, we have this very, very deep reluctance to move forward unless we feel completely safe, unless we feel the safety of numbers, unless we feel like we're doing something familiar. On the other hand, we have this deep compulsion to assert ourselves as being the boss, as being the leader, as saying, yeah, but my idea is better than your idea. So we have these two kind of opposite things pulling us in two different directions. The ego wants us to push forward, but our need for familiarity wants us to hold back. This is why taking action when you're on your own, when you're making your own decision, can seem like there's like two parts of you inside fighting over what to do. And this same two parts of people fighting what to do is what makes persuasion so difficult. But when you persuade people with an understanding of this paradox, it becomes very, very easy, very, very simple, very, very resistance-free. So how do you do this? Well, you first, by just ask people what they want. Make sure you're asking them what they want in the abstract, in a kind of conditional setting. Use the second conditional. If you did manage to get what you wanted, if you did manage to live the life of your dreams, what would that look like? And just help them describe that. Keep your ego locked up tight during this process. Just ask them what they want. Build out their desire maps as big as you possibly can. Get them super, super happy and salivating and excited over their desire maps. And then ask about their past decisions. When you ask about their past decisions, this is a chance for their ego to flex, to talk about the magnificent things they've done in their past, to talk about the magnificent decisions they've made in the past. And so when they're in that mindset of I make wonderful decisions, that will make them feel familiar doing new things. You'll have combined this idea of familiarity and their ego by first building up their desire map and then building up their decision map, their agency map, their ego map, their hero of their own story map. And so you will have combined these two paradoxes into one forward driving momentum powerhouse of motivation. This is extremely easy, it's extremely laid back, and this is exactly how a lot of people that I've taught how to sell things are making a ton of money with a lot less effort in sales. It's very laid back. You ask what they want, you ask about the decisions they've made in the past, you ask about their past successes, you combine the familiarity with the ego flex, and they move forward, they buy whatever you're selling, they do whatever you want them to do, and they otherwise have a fantastic conversation. So even if you don't want to sell things to people, even if you don't want to seduce gorgeous people, even if you don't want to make an easy six figures, this is a fantastic model to have wonderful conversations with people and make them feel fantastic because of you.